Hello everybody and welcome back to this week's Crafternoon Tea. So keeping in the Easter theme, this week I'm going to show you how to make a little Easter lantern out of a jam jar. So all you're going to need for this craft is an empty jam jar, give it a good rinse, make sure it is all clean. Some tissue paper, I've used green, two different colours greens just to sort of give it that Easter feel. And ideally you need some black card. I don't have black card, so I've got some dark blue card instead. I'm sure you could use white card and paint it black or colour it in black. Get creative, get your thinking caps on, and some PVA glue. So what I've done to begin with, I'll pop my jam jar to the side for a second, is I've started to rip my tissue paper into small sort of squares. It doesn't have to be perfect, I'm going for a rustic feel. If you want it to be perfect, you can use your scissors and you can keep it all sort of layered in that sense, but it doesn't matter. I think the more texture the better. So just have it really rough, just rip it up because we're going to cover the jam jar. So I've got a light green, this is my light green, and I've also got a darker green, so I think they'll work quite well together. You need tissue paper because you want to be able to get the light to come through it. So just carry on ripping. So we need a bit more than that, but I'll just show you to get started. So pop my tissue paper to the side and my card for a minute. Let's get some glue. PVA is fine. If you've got Mod Podge, that'll be even better. But I'm trying to use things I've got around the house. So I'm going to take my lid off the jam jar. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start covering my jam jar in some glue. Like so. And then I'm going to grab a bit and pop it on. We don't want to have too thick in our layers because the light's obviously got to come through. So I'm just going to cover it in glue again just to make sure it sticks down. Okay, so we're just going to do this all the way around, mix your greens together, pop it on, and you see we've got a bit of an overlay here, but that's fine because the tissue paper is quite thin, so you will still be able to see through. So we're going to do one layer all the way around the jar. You can sort of guide it with your fingers. Be a bit messy as we go around because obviously it'll be wet on some sides, but let's get a bit up here. You can use whichever colour tissue paper you like, but I like the green because that's going to give a good shine when we put the light inside. The reason we're putting this on the outside, make sure you put it on the outside, is because we don't want it to catch fire or anything like that if you're going to put a little tea light in there. If you've got electric tea lights, perfect. I'm sure everyone's got a little candle around the house that they can pop in here. So just keep adding your tissue paper all the way around. Oh, add two bits then. So you can see it's starting to take some shape. Ooh. So try and cover all the surface of your jam jar. So I've got a little section down here, so I'll just gonna add a thin strip. Go. So this part won't take you too long. Just get your strips of tissue paper on. You will get a bit messy, but that's fine. I'm using a little paintbrush to put my glue on because it's quite flexible then. But you know, use around whatever you've got. You can use your fingers, you know, you don't have to. So as you can see, we're getting our jam jar covered. So we've got the nice texture of sort of all the bits of tissue paper going down. It doesn't just have to be for Easter, you could leave this up for longer. It's just that I'm going to have a little bunny border on mine. So, but you can do this, you know, you could do this for any season. Just, you know, be creative with your designs. So we're almost done. I'm just on the top bit now. So you can see I've almost completed it, just this last little bit along the top now. And there we have it. Our jam jar is fully covered. Perfect, so pop that to the side. So our jam jar's all covered now. Okay, so I'm going to pop that down, leave that to dry for a minute, and I'm going to bring my card over. So what I've done is I've drawn a little bunny border. That'll be quite faint. I've drawn it in pencil. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut this out, and this will go along the base of our jam jar. So get creative with your designs. You don't want it too thick because you've got to think about your jam jar's height. You know, you don't want it to cover all of it, otherwise you won't be able to see the nice light shining through as well. So I'm just going to cut my bunnies out. And I'm just going to have my bunnies with a grass border. You can see I've already got my first bunny undergo. I was going to have a little flower in there, but I think it's a little bit tricky, so I'm just going to cut some grass instead to keep it nice and sort of choppy and textured. And so this is part one of the border, as you can see already. So let's cut the other bunny out. You could give these as little gifts as well. You could make all different ones. You could have a whole little scene. Okay, almost done. And I've got my little border, which will make a really lovely silhouette when we light it up. Perfect. So we've got our little bunnies. This is why it's quite important to have dark paper, because when we shine the light through, if it's too light, it will just get lost amongst the other bit of the jam jar. So I'm going to push all this to the side because we don't need that now. I'm going to bring my jam jar back. And then what we do is we're just going to glue this around the bottom of the jam jar. It doesn't go all the way, mine, so use the longer bit of your paper. But just to show you, this is what it will look like once it's stuck down properly. This is still a bit wet, so I'm sort of just going to tack it for now. But that's what our jam jar will look like. And imagine a light in there at night, lighting up. It's going to be super cute. So have a go yourself. All you need is a jam jar, some tissue paper and a bit of card. And then you pop your little tea light in there, put your lid on, and you'll have your own Easter lantern. So don't forget to share your makes with us, and we'll see you again next week for another Crafternoon Tea. Bye for now.